What is going on, guys? I am Samuel, and today I'm going to be giving you some little tips and tricks and techniques on how to take your photography to the next level and add some motion and a movement to the photo that you can't normally do. We're going to be doing something called zoom burst photos, and it's something I've been messing around with recently, and it's really fun. It adds a lot to the photo that actually looks kind of fake, but you can do it in camera, and it's fairly simple once you figure out how to do it. So let's get into the video. Yeehaw! So the way these photos work is you have a little bit of a longer exposure and you zoom in using the zoom lens on the camera while the shutter is open and the photo is being taken. So if you let your camera sit there for a second and focus on the subject, and then you move the zoom lens, whether you zoom in or zoom out, you get a blur of movement all around the subject while your subject stays kind of crisp because it was in the exposure a little bit longer than everything else. So that's what we're going to try to do today. I have some things I want to take some photos of, maybe some plants and some other stuff that we'll see. And we're just going to see how these work, and I'm going to give you guys some tips for taking these, so hopefully you can mess around with them on yourself. Let's go take photos. So this is my current setup. I'm going to be taking my photo of this pepper plant here, and I have my camera zoomed all the way in on this pepper plant. So when I take my photo, I can zoom out, and I'll have my little zoom blur going like that. So I'm actually at a fifth of a second here, and I'm on f22. So hopefully I'm going to have enough time to kind of zoom back on this photo while the shutter's open. So we're going to see how this works. I'm just going to mess around with it a little bit, see if I can get this to come out here. So I've been taking a couple photos and they've been working really well. I have to have a really wide aperture. I'm at a f22 and I have a little longer exposure there, so I have enough time to zoom back while the camera's taking the photo. But I want to get to a little bit darker environment, so I have a little longer exposure there, so I have a little more flexibility with where I'm zooming in duration of the time of the photo. So I'm going to go inside with some lights out and maybe get a little smaller subject to take some photos of. Maybe a Rubik's Cube would be cool or something like that. We're going to play around with a little longer exposure and see how that goes. All right, so for my next photo, I have a Rubik's Cube set up down here. I'm going to be taking a photo of it, and then I'm zoomed in all the way, and I have a 2-second exposure this time since it's a little darker inside. And I'm going to wait just a little bit, maybe about a half of a second before I actually zoom out. So I get my Rubik's Cube nice and crisply in focus, and then everything else is blurred around it. So let's see how that works out here. For my settings, I'm at a f16 with a 2-second exposure, and I am using a 2-second shutter delay. So I have a little bit of time just to mess around and make sure everything's going how I want. And there's our photo. We have some nice blurring, but not a whole lot. Maybe need to darken my exposure down a little bit. So this is what I'm getting. I definitely have some blurring around the cube, but I thought I'd spice it up a little bit if I had some things in the foreground that would be visible as I was zooming out. So here I am at 40 millimeters, and you can see this flashlight and this pod. But once I zoom in all the way, they disappear. So they won't be visible until I start zooming out. So maybe this will look pretty cool. So let's give a little shot here and just see what this is going to look like. So there we go. We definitely have some more zooming. I think I over-zoomed just a little bit. But once we're going to fine-tune this, we should have a pretty cool-looking photo. So here's my final photo of the cube here. Had a little bit better photo because I was able to let the cube sit in the frame for just a little bit before I actually started zooming out here. And then having everything kind of slide into the frame as I zoomed out really added some little blur here. So this is how the effect works. And as you zoom out, you can keep your zoom really steady unless you get kind of straighter lines, as you can see here, how everything kind of zooming in at a little more equal pace. So let's go outside and see if we can take some more things and then wrap this up. So this is going to be my last photo here. There's just this brown leaf sitting in all these green leaves. I'm going to focus on this brown leaf and zoom out. Should have everything else kind of blur around it. So this should be pretty cool. I'm excited for it. So we're going to see how this goes. And I'm just going to, I have my 2-second delay here. So I have a little time to grab my camera lens here. And then zoom out. And this is actually looking pretty cool. I think I need to let it sit on that leaf for just a little bit more. Because the longer you let your main focus sit in the exposure, the more crisp it is. But then you have to zoom out a little faster so everything else gets blurred. So once you kind of dial it in, you can get it pretty consistent and it works really well. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little abstract photography technique, but it does add a lot of movement to the photo and kind of adds a different little feel to it that you don't normally get with just about any other type of photo that I've seen. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and if you use any of these photos, please comment down below and subscribe to my channel. Share this video and give it a like, and share it with your grandmother too, because she loves photography and messing around with zoom bursts, because who wouldn't do that? I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.